Welcome back to another episode of the Clown College Podcast brought to you by the CSPN. I am one half of your host, Jeremy, aka Black Dante, aka Confucius, aka Niggas Against Coworkers, and I'm joined by my co-host and my partner in crime.
Hello, everybody. This is Dan. My pronouns are they, them, there. Welcome back to another episode of Frasier.
You're doing amazing. You can
All
find our
right.
podcast at ESPN.us. Click that podcast tab and search Crown and Collards and listen to all of our episodes thus far. And if you like our show and all our other wonderful shows on the CSPN, you can go to click that podcast free tab on our website and shop with all of our sponsors. And each purchase that you make through our website, a portion will go to that's the nigga in charge. And he who is down there, Lorente, keep lights on, so you won't have to pay to listen to me sound like some chicken breast cutlets.
Oh, that was kind of good.
His first thing that came to my mind. So
Anyway, yeah. So to start the show today, I would like to bust out the tuba music. And that tuba music is in honor of one Quintaris Lopez Jones letting a surefire two-hander go through his hands in the end zone that would have gave your Atlanta Falcons what broke a tie or gave him a little lead.
yep.
Instead, he gets tuba music.
If I had a soul, this would offend me, but I don't. So whatever.
Hey, don't go blaming your lack of a soul on the fact that your number one wide receiver on your team has a lack of hands. Let's not go conflating the issues here, sir.
hmm, yeah, whatever. So we have some to talk about. We have some things to discuss. This is kind of it ain't gonna be a quick light show, but it is gonna be kind of winging it, kind of sorta, cause life be life, and we thoroughly did not prepare for this episode as much as we usually do. But next week will be different. We're not gonna do our bring it back this week. We are saving that for next week because next week we have a very special guest returning, who we will keep that under wraps until then. So for a more cohesive show, that'll be next week. But this week, we just kind of talking. I will say that we got some important shit to get to, but I will say this: you guys, I feel like in 2017, with everything that's been going on in these here trying times, feel like Meek Mill is not the heel. Meek Mill is not the weapon that should divide us. I feel like we should not be calling each other coons and arguing on social media over Meek Mill in the year of our Lord 2017. I feel like we can unite against a more common enemy, such as a nigga named Kendu.
Correct.
I just feel that in my soul because today on social media was a lot. Cause and listen. I'll say
Oh
this:
shit! Well, shit, I missed that. I was out having lunch, doing
consequences.
IT shit, living my best life.
Live it. Listen. Live your best. Um. Live your best. Your best. White woman of non-binary life and and flourish because listen. Look. I'm not gonna go into the details. Meek Mill is in a bit of hot water legally, which is kind of like water's wet, but whatever. Listen, I care about a lot of stuff, and I'm always fuck the system. However, I just don't care to discuss the system about Meek Mill. I think is that fair, y'all? Is that fair that we is that fair that I feel like Meek Mill's life matters, but I don't care to discuss Meek Mill's life? Is that fair? Is it fair that I don't want us to fight each other and call each other coons and sellouts and Uncle Toms and all this stuff over Meek Mill? Is that fair, y'all? Is that fair? I feel that's fair. Dan, is it fair?
I feel like yes. Yeah, Meek Mill is not a notable enough person to sitting out here dying on hills over. Um, for
Because
all
it's
of the predictable, obvious reasons, but also, I mean, do y'all really like his music like that? Like, is that a fair question to ask? Like, is Meek Mill in your top five favorite hip hop artists? Maybe not. Is he in your top 10 favorite artists? Are there 15 people you'd listen to make any kind of music of any kind before him in a given moment? Do you like being screamed at? If the answer to the first three questions, if the answer to all four of those questions was no, then congratulations, you don't have to fucking stand over Meek fucking Mill.
because listen, I
So yeah,
know.
please stop that shit.
Yeah, listen. I know. Listen, it's always fuck the system, and we know that the system is inherently racist and and all that good stuff. I know. Like, trust me, I get it. But it's Meek Mill, y'all. It's Meek. I feel like we can say fuck the system, and I also don't care about Meek Mill. Is that fair? I think it's fair. Y'all don't be fighting each other over Meek Mill, please. I'm begging you. Not over Meek Mill. Not over Meek. Okay, that's all I had to say. So, in important news, even in this shit, Virginia just selected the first trans person to serve in state legislature on Tuesday. As we're recording this, 27-year-old. Uh, Dan, help me out here.
Her name is Danica Rome.
Thank you, because I didn't want to fuck that up. Made history by defeating Republican candidate Bob Marshall in Virginia's 13th district, becoming the first transgender lawmaker in the U.S. Um, Good for her. Good for her. I just saw this on Twitter a little bit before we recorded, and she beat. Let's see. I'm trying to see if they have
She
exactly like
beat
how many votes that she beat him by.
um it was I think I want to say it was a fairly kind of close vote actually, but I think what's really important here is the content of the character of the motherfucker she beat. Like this was a guy who not only wrote that terrible heinous law about trans people using the bathroom in Virginia. He wrote his version of HB2. Um, but he also during the campaign season said that he was running against a man who thinks he's a girl and is in a dress or something along those lines.
I'm reading the articles and the tweets now. Jesus Christ.
And you know, as someone who again sits in the non-binary, as someone who, I guess the easiest way to say it is I'm both. The understanding sexuality and understanding gender identity, understanding gender presentation, and all those things um, is often treated in this reductive manner by conservative old twats who just don't know shit about the world that they occupy anymore. And not only about the world they occupy anymore, but the way the world has been for quite some time now. There have been people like me and like Danica for centuries, and it's really impious and it's a really bad usage of time, really, at this point, to say things like "I disagree with transgenderism" or "I don't think that those people um, are what they'll never be what they like claim they are." Like all that stuff is like it doesn't help anything, and it just pisses people off. And I know personally, I don't like pissing people off. I give people what they deserve, but I don't like pissing people off for show. Um, and that's a for show, as in like for like the spectacle of it all, not a for show like I'm from New Orleans, even though I am. saying it in a different context. But yeah, no, it's just it's never an easy thing to hear. Um, it's just particularly difficult, I think, in this case because again, like Danica Rome is running for political office and is trying to represent a set of constituents in ways that will only serve to help people. Like for example, big one of her big campaign issues was about like roads and like road accessibility and like passages and things like that in Virginia. And I feel like that's something that's worth focusing on. How she identifies, trans, transgender woman, however it is that she chooses to, accept herself and live her best life is not the sort of thing that should be put on public spectacle because she's in front of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know that the Republicans hate trans people anyway, but you would think that the motherfucker would have more couth than to like openly like hurl slurs during the fucking campaign and the debates and shit. Like I know the bar is low for them and like really the fucking country, to be honest. But you would think that if trying to win an election, you would have more couth than to do that. But then again, look who we got in the White House. So
I would
I
say, yeah. I mean, that's your
what
biggest
what
proof
do
right
I?
there that the couth doesn't really get you too much in the way of anything. But no, just getting back to again Danica Rome, and again like this life that she ultimately has to live, and this life that she has chosen in this specific context and specific I can't talk fuck in this specific chapter of her life to dedicate it to public service. Again, I feel like best person for the job. Let's not be reductive to she's a woman, she's trans, she's young, whatever. Because I mean, clearly Buddy's plan wasn't, it was his shit ain't slap. So
His shit didn't slap. Honestly, I
so
don't
if your
feel like
shit don't,
he have shit to slap. He just wanted to be a bigot and was like, "That's gonna get me enough." And like I did. You're right. She beat him by like 7 points,
mm-hmm.
which is telling like a motherfucker. Like she actually has plans, legislation, has couth, has a very important issues, and this motherfucker up here just hurling transphobic slurs and being a bigot, and she only beat him by 7 points. Like that is like I'm not trying to shit on her accomplishment by any means of the imagination. It's just me being like, wow, like here's a woman that knows her shit, and this other motherfucker is just over here being loud, wrong, and ignorant. And people was like, you know what? She can win, but only by 7 points. That is disturbing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But congratulations to her.
Yes, congratulations are definitely in order, all the same. And again, going forward, I just hope that the people of Virginia are open to. I mean, it's the sort of thing where it's like, wow, we're still saying first blah 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 in the year 2017, but I'm trying
Right.
not to focus on that. Like, I'm focusing on the fact that hey, this woman campaigned, she won, she's got these ideas, and I truly hope her constituents are open to the ideas that she has for the betterment of this Commonwealth. I always forget you can't really. Got to be careful calling Virginia a state. You get mad about that. So, yep, she's a woman with a plan, a well stated plan, obviously, and yeah, I hope that she gets to make differences there. So,
Right. And kind of being keeping in hovering in the realm of LGBTQ. So this is pretty sad. It was reported. Let's see. Well, it happened last week, but it was updated. The last post that I had was on it is on was yesterday, and it was from Yahoo. That a father kills 14-year-old son. Um, with the quotes, he would rather have a dead son than a gay son.
good lord, that is
Yeah, a Nevada father shot and killed his 14-year-old son because he wouldn't accept his son's sexual orientation, according to the son's former foster mother. On Thursday afternoon, 53-year-old Wendell Melton shot his son Giovanni Melton in the apartment where Giovanni lived alone. According to Sonia Jones, Giovanni's former foster mom, Wendell caught Giovanni with his boyfriend before he pulled out a gun. According to the Henderson Police Department, Giovanni was initially transported to St. Rose Dominican Hospital in critical condition. As a result of their investigation, the Henderson police detectives determined that Melton discharged the firearm that fatally struck his son, which they said on their Facebook page. He was arrested at the scene on felony charges of open murder, child abuse, firearm possession, and other various charges, and was booked into the Henderson Detention Center. Giovanni was abused physically and mentally and spiritually for many, many years, Jones told Channel 3 Las Vegas News. Jones said the other family members told her the argument that led to Giovanni's death was over Giovanni's sexual orientation. She said Wendell threatened Giovanni before. He, according to her, he hated the fact that his son was gay. I'm sure that inside of his mind, he would rather have a dead son than a gay son.
That is,
That
you
is
know,
that is hard to read. Oh, there's more. Hold on, there. Let's see. Jamie Grant, executive director of the PFLAG National and LGBTQ Family and Ally Organization, told NBC News Giovanni's death is part of a broader societal issue. We have a crisis of masculinity in this country. It's obvious across the board in this report and in unrelenting reports of sexual assault and also gun violence. Many more normative messages men learn as they are growing up about stuffing their feelings, policing other men's gender and sexuality, asserting dominance from the boardroom to the bedroom, also show up in their lives as fathers. Giovanni is remembered as an energetic friend who brought smiles to everyone that he met. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to read that part. Go ahead. I mean to cut you off.
yeah, no, I just hearing stuff like that, and then also seeing people on the timeline say stuff like Halloween just confirms that I don't want daughters, or whatever the case might be. It just, why do people having children? Like, why? Like, your child is supposed to be the one that you love unconditionally. Like, and that's supposed to mean something. Like, you're supposed to protect your child. I'm not saying you're supposed to, necessarily abide by everything your child does, but I mean, your child being gay is not a worse fate than death. Like, that's so stupid. We've long since evolved past that, and I
You
don't
would,
know. I mean, it's obviously easy for me to say, given the lot in life I currently hold and all. But all the same, it's just like, well, what about the fact that these kids have to live and grow and have the opportunity to be something in this world? Um, this father selfishly took that away from him because of what he wanted, and it's like, if you wanted to punish your kid, I mean, even that's kind of trifling. But okay, do that, but death is it's not a suitable punishment here. And like, I read the story and my heart ached then, and just like recapping it now even just got me like
yeah,
feeling horrible. And I know that, like, I think what I feel bad about is the fact that I know this won't be the last story like this.
yeah. And I apologize for not putting a trigger warning on it before I
No,
read
no,
it.
I mean, I knew it was coming. Don't trip off that. But
Yeah. But it's like it's it's bigotry. Like it's just playing out bigotry that still exists in 2017, and like we have a real problem in this country, and I know motherfuckers love to be like everything's too sensitive and too PC and blah 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 blibbity blue. Um, but just because you annoyed, quote unquote, by people complaining and heavy air quotes and using Tumblr words again, heavy air quotes and all this shit, Does not change the fact that these issues are happening, and does not change the fact that these issues are causing people their lives. Like you look at, like, and I know, and just also like tying it into the whole like umbrella of toxic masculinity and stuff. Um, well, before we get to that one, this is another LGBTQ related death. Our LGBTQ brothers and sisters are under attack. If you claim to have Black Lives Matter in your header, because this was a young boy of color. You claim to have Black Lives Matter in your header and that you like Black lives and all this shit, then all Black lives should matter to you. That's number one. And number two, like if you look at this, usually these crimes are usually not 100% all the time, but usually these crimes are committed by men, by heterosexual men, cishet men. And you look at that pattern and also the pattern of what happened in that church over the weekend. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it came out that the guy had a history of domestic abuse and abuse towards his, what was it, his wife or his ex-wife? I know it was a woman
I
in
don't
his.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember which family member it was, but he also apparently caused trauma to relatives, like baby relatives, head, like skull or anything,
Right. So
or something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he done that, and then he was allowed to buy a gun. And it's like, what? This don't
right.
make sense.
So the point being, like, we have a real issue, like the person in the article said, like, we really have an issue in this country about what is masculinity, what makes a man, you know, quote unquote, and what that entails and what that means. And it's a societal thing that is not going to change unless motherfuckers want to. I don't even want to say admit, because at this point it's like debate. It's like Republicans debating climate change. Planet getting hotter and hotter by the year, but you saying climate change ain't a thing. So motherfuckers saying toxic masculinity and men being trash and all this, that, and the third, and misogyny and all this, that, and the third, and homophobia and transphobia and all this, that, and the third ain't real, and people just complaining, quote unquote. But you keep seeing stories like this happen. Well, a young LGBTQ uh, boy, girl, or non-binary or trans boy or girl has lost their life or is suffering some kind of discrimination, or an adult is LGBTQ adult is suffering some kind of discrimination, or death. And speaking of, there was a trans woman of color that was killed. I can't remember her name right now. Blame it on my head, not my heart. But she was the 25th trans woman of color, I think, that was killed this year. That we know of. I think her name was Candace. I can't be sure. Blame it on my head, but not my heart. But I think her name was Candace. And you see and women being assaulted, these mass shootings. These mass shootings are usually men, usually heterosexual men, usually that have some kind of issue with women. So it's like, how long are you gonna keep seeing these examples and these examples and these examples until you kind of get off that not all men, y'all just complaining ass bullshit, and try to be part of the solution instead of the problem? Because unless this shit changes, it's gonna keep
There's a lot
happening.
of blood on your hands.
Right, it's a lot of blood on a lot of people's hands. It's a lot of blood on society's hands about how we rate, how we define masculinity, how we define what is or isn't a man, how we define what's strong and what's dominant and all this, that, and the third, and how we don't allow men to have emotions and how to process those emotions, or teach men how to process those emotions, so we don't be out here doing no shit like this until we want to address the fact that there's a problem. Because far too many people don't even want to address the problem. They don't even want to address that, hey, men are dangerous to each other and to other people. We don't even want to address that. What the hell? BT, I tell you to play. We don't even want to address that. We would much rather call that a gender war pejoratively. We would much rather do that instead of being like, oh, hey, like there's a pattern here and it's not very good. Like, until that happens, more cases like this where a bigoted ass father is going to kill his gay son because he doesn't want a gay son. You're going to have more instances of this lone wolf, quote unquote, is going to go on a killing spree because it's so easy for him to get a gun when he has issues with himself, women, and women in and out of his life. You're gonna keep having this shit. You're gonna keep having tone deaf ass politicians that don't want to address the fact that it is way too easy for a motherfucker to get a gun in this goddamn country, and that there are way too many guns, and we need gun control. You're gonna keep getting that shit, and I hope that one day we get to that point where we fix this shit, but it looks grimmer and grimmer by the day.
Yep, I always say we've come so far, we still got so much work to do.
Correct. Speaking of not coming far enough, so B.O.B. has fumbled his way back into the playoffs because this nigga, I really want to know what the fuck happened to B.O.B. to make him so goddamn because this shit is fucking ridiculous. So this nigga, Flat Earth Truther B.O.B. has stooped to a new level of Pan-Africanism. And this nigga said that slave ships didn't actually exist. I'm going to read this from BET. B.O.B. took to his Instagram on November 1st to share updated video of a theorist that shared his theory that wasn't no damn slave ships. This nigga said, and I quote, "They say slavery lasted 400 years. America is only 25 years old. You ever seen a slave ship? They can find billion-year-old dinosaur bone, but can't find any slave ships." This is still on his Instagram, and he took the shit down. Despite the fact that there is literally a goddamn museum of African American history and culture, and that you can literally Google verified information about that there was slave ship. This nigga B.O.B. saying ain't no damn slave ships. Slave ships was just an illusion. What? Who?
Yeah, I got nothing too.
Whomst gave B.O.B. this strong ass weed, and how can we commit him into an asylum? Because this is fucking ridiculous. Ain't no damn slave ships. Boy. I just hotep so Ankism is a hell of a drug. Ankism is
Drug I don't want.
It's a hell of a drug and contagious as shit. So yeah. So B.O.B. is I don't know. B.O.B. might be past Umar Johnson in the Ankh playoffs right now.
Ooh, I don't know. Umar he's a hard man to take down.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Umar Ankh Hall of Famer. Umar is Ankh Deion Sanders.
Listen, Umar is who we've named that corner of the bracket after.
Yeah, B.O.B. is like he's like Ankh Andy Dalton right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, oof.
But yeah, so yeah. So
it's strange what a few years of irrelevance will do to recording artist.
Speaking of a recording artist, I want this motherfucker to leave us alone. So Tyrese, and first of all, let me say this because honestly, I just want to say this about Tyrese, and honestly, unless you got something else to say, we can kind of make this a short show. But I would say this, Tyrese. I've been seeing people self Monday morning quarterback Tyrese and try to diagnose him with a mental illness, even though we ain't none of us no goddamn professionals to be diagnosing somebody with a mental illness. Listen to me. Stop.
Something ain't right with that boy.
Huh?
I said something ain't right with that boy.
Uh, Something ain't right with him. That's true. But don't be bastardizing mental illness to excuse Tyrese fuckboy behavior. Because wasn't no damn wasn't no damn talk of Tyrese having a mental illness, and Tyrese been wilding. This is the same nigga that live tweeted stalking his. I don't know if it was his first ex or what, but he stalked some woman that he was involved with. I think it was his first baby mama, somebody. Remember, this is the same nigga that live tweeted stalking her. Wasn't no damn talk of mental illness then. If anything, I remember that if anything, motherfuckers were making fun of not Tyrese, but his ex, the woman he was stalking. People were making light of that. People were making jokes about this grown ass man stalking a woman and tweeting about it. Motherfuckers were making jokes about that shit. Wasn't no damn talking no mental illness capable for Tyrese with that shit. Motherfuckers was just laughing it off. So listen. I feel like people do this shit with certain people where they try to self-diagnose them and use that to try to cover up for their fucked up behavior. A good example of this is Azalea Banks. I've seen so many people try to use mental illness to excuse her terrible behavior, and I feel like that does a disservice to people with mental illness. Um, I feel like I feel like we make this push to try to get more awareness about mental illness out and try to be there for people with mental illness. Then we turn right back around and bastardize it and undermine everything we say we're about when we try to use that to excuse trash ass behavior for a nigga like Tyrese. That's really all I got.
Yeah, I don't like the contortion there that always happens. I don't like it when it's obviously the mass shooter situation is a lot more the same. It's like, oh yeah, this person was mentally ill. It stands to pass they would have done that. And I'm like, yo, I battle with personal shit all the time, and I might have some shit that ain't been diagnosed by somebody, but I certainly feel like it is the truth and is the case with me. I ain't never gonna have done this shit.
Right. Like, actually, I want people to actually listen to someone that suffers from mental illness and fights mental
Mm.
illness and goes through mental illness. I want somebody, before we had these hot takes about, oh, well, so and so wild and they must have a mental illness. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
Right.
do that. Because that just undermines and bastardizes the whole movement of trying to be more aware and conscious and be of mental illness and the struggle and being here for people with mental illness. Like, I saw motherfuckers that follow people that tweet candidly, in depth, with nuance and very, very well articulated. I saw people that follow people that articulate about mental illness, talking about y'all up here dragging Tyrese down, but y'all claim to be about mental illness. Has Tyrese been diagnosed with a mental illness?
Nope.
When we get to that threshold
And
where Tyrese has been diagnosed by a professional that he has a mental illness, then we'll cross that road when we get to it. Until then, that motherfucker is just a weirdo and out here wilding and from what all accounts actually preyed and scammed on people for empathy, because right after people was giving him all that empathy, he started right back wilding. So
right? Like my thing is this: like, wise counsel comes in many forms. It didn't have to. It didn't have to be Jada and Will Smith promising him 5 million and giving him 5 million. It could have just been him shutting his ass up, realizing, oh shoot, what I'm doing is not going to curry me any favor with anybody I want favor from. Maybe not doing this would be a better idea.
maybe not be a head ass.
But you got motherfuckers who want to defend the behavior so bad that they ignore the problems with the behavior. And it's like you can't really like you can't do that. Like he's clearly, his first wife got that restraining order, and people say these things about him for reasons. And like far be it for me to say, oh yes, he's guilty, no doubt, but like there's a restraining order in place. He's got to honor that. He can't continue to just do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
And I mean, if I can't agree with somebody on that baseline at a bare minimum, then there's nothing else to talk about as far as I'm concerned. We're talking about a guy who, is just carrying on, and like, there's no way he thinks he looks good doing this, right? Like, he even questioned during that one super long video. He was like, "Is what I'm doing legal? I hope what I'm doing isn't illegal. But am I protected by like my First Amendment rights or my First Right Amendment, as he put it?" And it's like, yeah, I mean, you can say what you want, but that doesn't mean that saying what you want is gonna get you the favor you want out of the courtroom.
Right.
All it
Like,
means is you said what you wanted to say, and the government didn't come snatch your ass up for it.
right. Like I listen, just because the charger was dropped, I have no doubt in my mind that motherfucker is abusive. Like, nigga.
At minimum, I don't want to go that far. I can't prove that he hit his daughter necessarily, right? But at minimum, he's a narcissist because he's one of those guys who wants you to go along with every. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was just saying that's being kind.
Like he's one of these guys who wants you to go along with everything he says and everything he thinks. And the first time you don't go along with what he says and what he thinks, automatically you're the enemy, and he's the victim. And I don't like seeing people do that shit because it's like you can't use the fact that people say yes to and with you as ammunition against the time where they eventually will disagree with you, because that time will come.
Yeah.
And
I listen, I can't prove
yeah.
if he did or didn't beat his daughter like that. I'll give you that, but I don't have proof that he did that. But we do have proof that he live tweeted stalking a woman. And I'm not saying just because you're a stalker that you're an abuser. But what I am saying is you ain't never seen a racist that wasn't also a misogynist. So
right.
I'm just saying.
I love women that niggers gotta go. Like you don't see that. Like it's
right.
always a cascading wall of fuck shit with people. And
right. So I'm not saying that he is an abuser. What I'm saying is that he's a stalker. That we literally have evidence of. And I'm not saying that the two are related, but again, I'm saying you have never seen a racist that's also not homophobic. That's all I'm saying.
And again, the only reason I'm saying I don't know I can't prove it is because I don't want us to get sued, right? Like
right. I know.
I'm looking out for the CSPN coinage, which by the way, the show is brought to you by Skull Candy, bringing you to find us in audio, and you can save half off or get free shipping on your it's free shipping on your order when you go to cspn.us. Roll on down to keep our podcast free. Click the Skull Candy tab and do your shopping like normal. Just wanted to work that in there. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I don't. Other than the fact that I'm not trying to get him sued, again, I feel like again, what the world needs is one, a lot more grace, and two, we need to trust women more. And we need to trust that she didn't just go get this restraining order just to prove she could do it. Like, we need to believe that on some level that there was something that was clearly going on in this household that they were not addressing or they were not solving, they were not getting resolution on um, within the confines of good common human decency and grace, prevailing.
Correct. Um, but yeah, I think that about does it. You got any church announcements? I'll get out of here.
I was going to talk about basketball a little bit. Eric Bledsoe got traded from the Suns to the Bucks. The big piece that the Suns have gotten is Greg Monroe, but let's be honest, y'all don't really give a damn about Greg Monroe. What we should be giving a damn about is the fact that the Bucks have all this fucking length on their team.
These some of the most Mr. Fantastic ass niggas I done seen.
Right, motherfucker, Stretch Armstrong is now in your world ass squad they got going because Eric Bledsoe's like 6'1" with a 6'7" wingspan. Like that ain't fair.
I know,
You
right?
shouldn't be able to reach that damn far.
I know, right?
And they got Freaky Greeky, and they got Jabari Parker. Which is he healthy? Is he playing yet?
I think he's back healthy, but they'll slowly bring him back. Like they don't want to risk re-injuring him.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It might be time to start figuring out what they can get for him. I don't know. I can't say with any absolutions about that, but I don't know, man. Like they seem to be doing great, they seem to be progressing along well. They're only 4-5 right now, but they seem to be progressing along pretty good as a basketball team. Um, so yeah, there's that, and I mean, you got the Cavs who losing all the sorry teams. I mean, they beat the Bulls, but they were losing to the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, look, and maybe look, folks just gonna have to call me a LeBron fan, Stan, whatever. I really don't give a fuck. But listen, until I see with my own two eyes somebody beat LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals for 4 straight games, I'm not putting anybody over the Cavs in the Eastern Conference, even with them looking bad. And look, I know it's just the start of the season. I know, but they still don't look good. But at the same time, again, until I see somebody beat LeBron James with my own eyes, I ain't believing a goddamn thing. So listen, any other Eastern Conference team not named the Cavs with LeBron James is just gonna have to show me in the playoffs they can beat this man for 4 games in a 7-game series. Until then, hey, whatever. Right. I'm sorry, but whatever.
Exactly. No. I mean, the thing about the Cavs is obviously, basketball is a team game, and LeBron he's not showing any signs of slowing down. So it's not that. It's maybe a little bit more of the guys on this team need to step it up. Kevin Love needs to become first quarter Kev again. J.R. Smith is shooting disastrously bad, and
still fuck Stephen A. Smith, by the way, though. But continue.
Dwayne Wade, he continuing to, he throwing them tens out on the spades table, and he just letting them walk. Still, Dwayne Wade and his fucking tens of Jackson shit. But
he trying to win a book with he trying to win a book with a damn king of diamond.
Look, Dwayne Wade is the king of fuck it. I got these 8s. I'm going all in.
Right. Hey, he like, look, I'm gonna throw out this 10. I'm gonna throw out this 10 in the club and just hope and pray.
Right. I hope each y'all still got one club left and ain't no big ones.
Right. I know one of y'all. Look, I know one of y'all got one club left. I've been watching the board. Don't play with me.
Don't renege.
Right. Please don't renege.
No, there's that, and then football. Football actually was fucking spicy as hell this week.
I know, right? AJ Green out for blood.
AJ Green said, I mean,
AJ Green still
he from your hometown, if I remember right. I think he's from South Georgia, ain't he?
AJ Green, yeah.
Yeah, he a mild mannered. He don't never bother nobody. I was shocked to see him get riled up like that. But Jalen Ramsey, it's easy to say that, but then you remember Jalen Ramsey's that dude who, you know. Jalen Ramsey called himself trying to go after Steve Smith, and I'm surprised Steve Smith ain't killed him yet. But
I know, right? I love how didn't nobody get suspended though.
Yeah, that was kind of confusing actually. I figured somebody. I figured Ramsey was going to eat that suspension, just one game. But yeah, they suspend nobody. All right. Oh boy, Mike Evans got suspended though for that shit he did to the Saints cornerback.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
I think
Jameis Winston was pointing that old boy ahead. They had no reason to do that. You hurt your shoulder hurt. You got your arm all the way extended, pointing at the dude's head, pointing the back of his head. What's wrong with you?
You niggas are crazy.
Like it's crazy. It's a $4 bill, but yeah, Mike Evans hit him in the back. Cheap shot, and that started a little fracas.
It was like niggas. It was like niggas had just. It was like teams across the NFL were just playing knuck if you butt throughout the whole stadium, and niggas just start fighting.
Right.
Like what is
boy
going
Quintoris. Oh wait, I talked about that at the beginning of the show. Never mind.
All right.
Sorry to bring that back up, but yeah, it was that. Then you had two different teams put up 50 spots.
Yeah.
And they put these 50 spots up on recent like Super Bowl winners, which I mean, the NFL changes a lot from year to year, granted, so it's kind of a cheap thing for me to say that, but I can cop to that. But yeah, the Broncos got 50 piece. They won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, and the Giants got 50 piece. They won a Super Bowl 5 years ago. So yeah, 51 was the magic number last week, man. Woo. Then did you see old boy on the Raiders?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, you gotta go see old boy on the Raiders. Those of you listening, if y'all watch the GIF that I send to Jeremy, and I'm gonna tag Crown College in this GIF as well. Yeah, hashtag that old boy on the Raiders, because I think that's really the extent of what he needs to be known by. Because that play was the funniest shit. Like for all of the brolic shit and all the goofy shit, that was my favorite play of the week. Old boy on the Raiders.
Old boy, he who will be named old boy on the Raiders.
Yeah. And also my Titans won.
Keegan check.
5-3. 5-3. Better than your Falcons.
Man, whatever.
What now? Better than your Falcons. What now? Falcons third place in the division. Good thing Tampa Bay sucks, because y'all would be in the projects otherwise.
Yeah, whatever.
Y'all would be in the projects otherwise.
Yeah. You're not gonna get a reaction out of me. I told you, I don't care.
Hey, all right, I gotta say it. Saints Titans Super Bowl. I'm calling it right now. There we go. I don't believe
that. You for real though, you know who might fuck around and win the Super Bowl though? The goddamn Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah. Dog, the Eagles scored on an option.
On the option.
You see that?
On the option.
Dog, yeah, nigga. Fucking Carson Wentz, took the snap, and then Carson Wentz ran out to his right, did a sprint out. His running back was trailing behind him. Linebacker committed to Wentz, and he pitched the ball to whoever the running back. The running back was like some fourth string dude or some shit. But yeah, he took the pitch, just walked into the end zone. Speaking of walking into the end zone, did you see the shit that old boy did for the Rams, Robert Woods, on 3rd and 33?
Bruh, listen, I logged back because people were talking about it, and I was like, wait, what happened? And then somebody linked me. I think it was Kevin. And he showed it to me, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, this some shit you do on Madden,
bruh. And this was right after Tyreek Hill did this. No, wait. Right later on in the day, Tyreek Hill did the same shit to the Cowboys, but he took a pass underneath at end of the half. They was playing prevent, just trying to get to the locker room. And yeah, Dallas was trying a little too hard to get to the locker room because they tackled old boy like how in the kung fu movies. The dude only get he beat up 40 dudes, but he only ever fight one at a time.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sports are weird. Sports.
Yeah, sports are fucking strange. The Houston Astros are your World Series champions. We don't know what the hell to think of the NFL picture. Tyrod Taylor might take the team deep into the playoffs. Like, I mean, this shit is. What are we doing? Why do we watch? Why do we have favorite teams? Why do I care?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Pretty much.
Uh,
So yeah, that's your week in sports. Anything else?
not that I can think of. I think that's it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and call it at this point. In that case, I feel like we gave the people a pretty good show today, and on this here rainy November afternoon, evening.
Right.
It's nighttime there, but fuck, it's felt like nighttime. It's about 4:45 here, so
Right. So yeah, this has been Crown and Collards episode 145. Yeah, thank you all for rocking with us. Know this episode was kind of all over the place, but we appreciate y'all rocking with us, and we'll be back next week with a better version of ourselves, and we will talk to y'all later. And peace out.
see y'all on the timeline. Peace.